Today, we're going to go over how to set up Google conversion tracking inside a HighLevel for all your conversion actions. We're talking about calendars, forms, surveys, everything that you possibly imagine. We're going to include in this video to try to make it a one-stop shop for you to figure out how to do Google conversion tracking inside a HighLevel. So stay tuned and build along with us. Now, the main thing to understand, this is not how to actually run your Google ads, but basically how to set up the conversions instead, especially when you're working with HighLevel inside. What we're going to do is we're going to immediately go into the system. We're going to connect our Google account, and then we're going to go over all the different types of conversion actions you can actually run inside of here. Now, some of them are going to be very simple, like orders submitted and form submissions and all that. And we're going to go over that first. And then I'm going to get into all the kinds of call tracking and chat widget tracking that's really, really cool that you can do all through the back end. Now, the one thing to fully understand is that you can create a connection between HighLevel and your Google ads that are going to happen in the back end that is going to basically give better results when you go out. And that's what we're going to be leveraging today. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the left-hand side. You're probably going to go in and start in your Launchpad or your dashboard. When you come in here, you're going to go all the way down to settings. From settings, you're going to go all the way down to integrations. And in integrations, you're going to make sure that you sign in to the account that you're using to run your Google ads. Now, it's important that this account become your primary account because that account is the one that Google ads are going to run off of, and you need to make sure that there's a connection. Now, if you connected your Google ads like you see here, there is your analytics account, which by the way, you should set up. There'll be another video on how to do that. But more importantly, there's going to be an AdWords MCC account. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to come in here and match the number to the number on the top right-hand side of your Google ads. All right. So for instance, I know mine starts with a certain amount. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click. Awesome. And then in here, and I select the AdWords account. There is an MCC account because we have multiple accounts for Google. And then there's the AdWords account. I'm going to make sure both of those are connected before I continue. Now that those both are connected, it's going to allow the backend connection when I set up the automations in order for it to see the actual Google Ads account. All right. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over it all the way to the left-hand side, and I'm going to go ahead and go right to my automations now that this is connected. All right. So I'm going to go to automations. And what I like to do is I like to keep my Google Ads conversions separate. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a folder. I'm going to label it, we're just going to name it G01 for Google Ads. And I'm just going to put Google Ads conversions, all right? Make it super simple. Now, a lot of people will actually try to put the Google Ads conversion directly inside of whatever automation they're running. We just tend to do them all differently and put the Google Ads conversions on a separate folder. If the Google Ads conversions are not working right, I can just basically go back to the particular, whatever it is, and then just kind of fix it, right? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit create. And what I'm going to do is I have a couple lead magnets on the page and I've already created a form, right? So for instance, some of you guys might have this already. It's one of our lead magnets that we have. And we're completely transparent here. Everybody knows what a lead magnet is. But if I go to one of my lead magnets that I have in here and I have a checklist, you're going to notice that in this checklist, people are going to go into a form, right? Now, this particular form, this can be an actual conversion action, right? So if I come in here, this is a conversion action because if somebody fills out a form, it counts as a conversion for me. So as you can see, I got the HighLevel checklist, and that is the lead magnet, and that is the form name. So now that I have a form and I have the form name, what I can do is I'm going to go back to my automation. All right. While that's loading, I'm going to go into my Google Ads account and I'm going to go to tools and settings. And I'm going to go to conversions. Okay. Now I believe in the appearance and you want to use the new design. We can go over that in a little bit, but I'm using the old design. And if you want to switch, by the way, use new design. If you don't have my screens, come in here, hit appearance, use previous design. And I don't like the new one for sure. And I'm going to hit send on previous design. And oh, darn it, I did it again. Use previous design. I'm just showing you how to do it twice, apparently. All right, awesome. Now that I'm here, I'm going to go to tools and settings, and then I'm going to go to conversions. Now that I'm in conversions, we're going to stay here. And now we're going to go back. Hopefully my automation's loaded. Here you go. I'm going to go to automations. And remember, I'm going to go to that G01. So we are looking for G01 Google Ads conversions. I'm going to come in here. And the first thing I'm going to do is going to be a conversion action that's going to track when somebody downloads that lead form, right? So this is going to be, I'm going to start G01 again, and this is going to be lead magnet. All right. And we're going to call this the lead magnet, which is HighLevel checklist. Okay. From here, I'm going to go ahead and create a new trigger. And the trigger is going to be when somebody submits that form. Form submitted, add filters, come in here, form is, and remember mine was HighLevel checklist. And I'm going to go ahead and save action. I'm going to come over here, and the only thing I'm going to try to do is bring in the conversion action. Now, I'm going to go ahead and hit save because what we're going to do is now create the conversion action. Now, remember, we switched the appearance just in case you're in the old one. We want to use the previous design. By the way, the old one has, to me, is just way better to navigate. Tools and settings, conversions, and now we're here. Now I'm going to go over to new conversion action. And what we're going to do is we're going to type in import. All right. From here, you're going to click CRM. All right. CRM files and other data sources. And we're going to hit track conversion from clicks. Once we do that, we're going to go ahead and select skip this step and set up a data source later. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the enhanced conversion for leads. All right, this is not any kind of weird ads, right? It's going to be basic lead magnet going into HighLevel, somebody that searches HighLevel, and that's going to kind of be the goal, right? So I'm going to hit agree. And once I do that and selection action, we're going to actually use a Google tag to make it really simple, track the Google click ID and all of that. So what you're going to do is once you turn this thing on, and this screen might change, and there's different ways of getting a Google tag, but for now, we're going to leverage this one. And what we're going to do is we're going to come in here and you're going to hit tag details. Once you select tag details, you can go ahead and go to installation instructions. You can select your platform, but it doesn't have it listed. So what we're going to do is we're going to install manually. We're going to come in here and we're going to copy it. All right, copy this code, put it in a Google Doc somewhere. But more importantly, I'm just going to put it directly on my site. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the go back button because this is saved. And I'm going to go to sites. Inside of sites, let's go back to that lead magnet page, right? We're going to go to our lead magnets. We're going to go to our checklist. We're going to go to settings. And right by my Metal Pixel, I have it in Google Tag Manager, which is perfectly fine. I'm going to add this Google tag, okay? And if you have Google Tag Manager, there's different ways to do it, but we're just going to make it super simple. I'm going to go ahead and hit save. All right, now it's going to show up on all my pages. And if I wanted to test the site real quick, all I have to do is grab this, copy it, put it into here, paste, test. All right, so hopefully it'll load. Boom, it's in there and it can see it. So fantastic, all right? Now there's other configuration, which you can do at any point in time, but for now, we're just going to leave it there. And we've already tested it. Now that I have this tag inserted, we're going to use that tag pretty much in every conversion action we're going to have in going forward. So I'm going to go ahead and hit continue. Now that I hit continue, the conversion action, it's just going to be a converted lead. All right, now you're going to get into the conversion goals. You can come in here. You can do any of these: qualified lead, converted lead, submit a lead form, and there's a whole bunch of other ones to do. Now, because this is kind of a converted lead, but to me, it's more of a qualified lead, you can do it whatever which way you want. For instance, if I'm running just a lead magnet ad, then it's going to be a converted lead for me. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to type in lead magnet. All right, this is going to be our HighLevel checklist. Okay, and then from here, I'm just going to put Google Ads. I'm going to go ahead and hit add. And then in here, very important, you're going to come over here and you're going to go to settings, and then you're going to go to conversion action settings. All right, here, you're going to see that you already have converted lead. This is definitely going to be a primary bidding action, which we're going to want. This doesn't have a value because we just don't have a value for it. And then it's going to be on the one, and data driven is fine. And the click through window is also fine. One thing to note when you come over here and you're going through all this is that, again, data driven is fairly new. I'm not a crazy Google Ad expert, but some of the people I know are still using last click. So understand that if you want to maybe just go from that, gives all the credit to the conversion to the last clicked ad, you could do that, or you could do data driven. Again, I'm using data driven. If you're not seeing the results you want, I recommend going back in there and just switching it. All right. Now that this is done, I'm going to hit create and continue. Okay. And I'm going to hit done. And you're going to notice that now you're going to come in here and you have lead magnet, HighLevel checklist under your convert leads. And you have in here, and this is going to be one of your campaigns, and it's a website import from clicks. Now, very importantly, remember we were inside of our automations. We created that folder. I'm going to go to number 2, number 3. That's where mine are. There's my Google Ads. I'm going to come into our Google Ads conversion checklist, and I'm going to go ahead and hit the plus sign. And what I'm going to do when I hit the plus sign is I'm just going to type in Google or G. When I had GO, as you can see, Google AdWords, and you're going to notice that the conversion action, look what's here, lead magnet, HighLevel checklist, Google Ads, save. And this is going to be very specific to this. I'm going to go ahead and hit publish, and I'm ready to rock and roll. Now, remember, I told you this is for forms. You can do this for purchases. You can do this for surveys. You can do this for whatever you want. It's actually going to follow the same amount. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back, and we're going to do one for purchase, which is going to be for our course. So I'm going to come over here, start from scratch, G02. This is going to be Google Ads conversion. It could be for services, whatever you'd like. Google Ads conversion. This is going to be course purchase. Come over here. We're going to add the trigger. This is going to be order submitted. And this is going to be our global product is our local master builder course. And then we're going to go ahead and save. And then from here, I'm going to hit the plus sign. And then inside the plus sign, right, I can't do any Google conversions because it's not there yet. So let's go ahead and build another one. And they're all going to kind of follow the same route, right? I'm going to come over here, new conversion action. Again, import, all right, CRM and other data sources, track from clicks, skip this later, all right, because we don't have a data source per se. Going to go to the category. This is definitely going to be a converted lead. Now this is going to be GHL, it's going to be course, Google Ads. Yeah, just Google Ads. All right, I'm going to go ahead and hit add. Remember to go to settings. If you skip this, I actually deleted it, I had to start over, but just understand that we're going to go to settings. This is going to be conversion action settings. This is definitely going to be use value for different, because I'm going to have a course value, right? Our course value is $9.97. Okay, and it's going to count for every one. 90 days that are recommended, create and continue. All right, and we're going to hit done. Now we're going to go back to our CRM because we already have it here. All right, and we are going to go ahead and go, make sure you refresh because it won't pick up the new conversion because you just literally added it. All right, so I'm going to come over here. I'm going to go to type in Google, add to Google AdWords, come in here, select. There's a course, fantastic. Click on that. And remember, we have to make sure for enhanced tracking abilities, right? We need to go into the site and remember that code that we copied. We're going to go ahead and add that same code. You should have copied it to a Word doc. I'm going to add that same code and I'm going to put it into my courses. There's my local master builder. I'm going to go to my settings, inside my settings, right after my pixel. Okay. Oh, that's definitely not it. So, all right, so let's go get it. So you could also cheat by going to the one where you put it before. So we're going to go back to my lead magnets. Boom, boom, boom. Come over here to our high level checklist. Go to our settings. Grab that Google tag manager right here. And you know it has it because it has this G tag. I'm going to go ahead and Control C, hit the back button, go back to our courses, local master builder. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. Go to settings, make this bigger. And right after our pixel code, boom. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and hit save. All right, very simple. So now you got your conversion actions for this. Now let's get to the cool ones, right? So now what we're going to do is I'm going to come over here. I'm going to go over to our settings and I'm going to go to phone numbers. What I'm going to do is inside of phone numbers, I am going to create a Google ad click to call number. And what that means is I'm going to come over here. I'm going to hit add phone number. All right, I'm going to use a filter. I'm going to filter by the first part of the number. I'm going to come over here and it's going to be 908. All right, no particular area code. Yeah, that's fine. We don't care, really, honestly. Proceed to buy. All right, and then what we're going to do is once that number gets added, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go into edit configuration. Inside of here, we don't have it forwarding to any calls, not at least for this one. We're going to hold calls from. This will forward. I'm just not going to put the number here, but eventually you're going to want to put this to whatever your number is that you want it to forward to. Whisper messages will be called from Google Ads. Okay, because you're definitely going to want people to answer this. If you have bots and everything else, it's great, but you definitely want to make sure you have that. This call will be recorded for quality assurance, especially if you have setters or closers. You're going to want to make sure you listen to your calls. Incoming is going to be 60. Outgoing is going to be 60. But most importantly, I named the numbers, right? The number is going to be Google Ads call extension. Okay, now that that's done, you have your number here for your call extension. The next thing that you got to do is you're going to go over to your campaigns right here. You're going to go back to your tools and settings. You're going to create a conversion. And the first thing that you're going to do is create a new conversion action. From the new conversion action, you're going to go ahead and you're going to do phone calls. You're going to go ahead and calls from ads using call extension only ads, because this is only going to be a number that you're going to use directly for call extensions. You're going to do GHL. Well, you could do Google call only ads. Let's try that again. And since I'm putting in GHL, I'm just going to put GHL, right? Or HL, whatever you prefer. GHL. All right. There is no value for this. We're going to count every one. Click through there. Is that everything else stays the same? And again, Google call ads only, blah, blah, blah. Now that this is said and done, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to add this number. Okay. I'm going to go back and copy the number from HighLevel, right? From here, I'm going to go to the left-hand side. I'm going to go back to all campaigns, click on all campaigns. Then I'm going to go all the way down to ads and assets, click on assets. And you should have something that looks like this. Now, mind you, if you've never created an ad, this will be blank and you'll be missing a lot of these fields. So you might have to go through the actual ad creation process, add a number there first, and then come back and do it. Now, a lot of us here, if you're going already to this level of this kind of call ads, you're already going to have a number in place. But to add a new number, you're going to hit the plus sign. You're going to go all the way to call. You're going to come over here and you're going to be very specific to the number that you want. This is going to be totally added to the entire account. You can also add it to campaign or a specific ad group. For instance, I'm going to come in here. I would paste the number. All right. You want to make sure it's in this format. So just go ahead and make that adjustment. 908, right? Blah, blah, blah. The way I had it. And there's a little space. All right. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and it's going to be Google Ads only, the conversion action. Remember the one I created because I want to be very specific to understanding the ones that I'm running into GoHighLevel versus anywhere else. All right. You can have advanced options of you could set the actual days and times for any company. Honestly, if you're going to be taking calls, even for setters, it's always good to do like the hours of operation. So for instance, ours is 9 to 5, and you just make sure your account is in the right time zone. I learned that lesson the hard way. I'm not going to go over that now, but just know that that exists. Then you would go ahead and you would hit save, and now your call extension will be added there, and this number will be added to the call. Now, any call that you put on the ad, you will know come in directly in here. The cool thing of it is you're not necessarily done in here. What you're going to do now is you're going to go back. You're going to go to automations. Again, we've already kind of pre-created this. Remember, we went all the way down to our, where is it? Our G3. Boom, our G2, I'm sorry. And now we're going to create another workflow because I at least want to start tracking and putting all these in an opportunity page. So I'm going to create a new workflow. I'm going to go continue. And because of this number is specifically for those Google calls, I'm going to go ahead and label it here, G03. And it's going to be click to call ad extension, because then I know it's that particular number when somebody's actually hitting the number on the actual ad. I'm going to hit add new trigger. And this is going to be call status. Add filters, incoming. Call direction is going to be incoming. Add another filter, in phone number, and you should have yours written out as Google Ads call extension. Hit save trigger. And here I can add a tag, I can add a source, I can do whatever I want. More importantly than anything else, I want to track it in the pipeline. I want to make sure that people are calling, do whatever I need to do. I'm going to go to agency leads, new lead. It won't have a name, but at least I'll get the contact phone number. And then the source I know is going to be Google call extension. And if I also want to do that, I can also put it here, Google, because then I know which lead is coming from what? Google call extension. Okay. Boom. I'm going to hit save action. And this one's done. I'm going to publish this. Now, if you want to use a phone number on an actual page, we're going to do what's called a number pool. Now, in order for you to do what's called call swapping, the way it works is this. You are going to get a call coming into your website. Somebody's going to click that call, and then Google is going to give you the credit for having that call complete. Now, like before, what we're going to do is we're going to come back over here and we're going to first buy the numbers, right? And it's going to be a set of numbers. So remember, you're going to be paying for each of these. So it's 4 numbers in total. So just make sure this is something you want to do. You're going to go over to settings, left-hand side. You're going to go to phone numbers. Inside of phone numbers, you're going to come in here and you are going to create a number pool. You're going to add a number pool. And this is going to be for, you can do visitor activities, website PPC, and keywords and more. And this is track callers and signal marketing campaign. I'm going to do visitor activity. In here, I'm going to do all visitors, and I'm going to go ahead and create a pool. The name of the pool is going to be Google Ads Swap Numbers. I don't know. For me, it just makes sense. Or you could just say Google Ads website page number, funnel page number, whatever it is. Pool size is going to be 4. You know, again, it's what they tell us we're going to do. And then the forwarding calls to, it's always got to forward to an actual number. Now, I'm going to hide that number while I fill it out, but that's what it would be. And the swapping number would be the same as the forwarding number, meaning the number it will see will automatically swap going from there. And then it will be the same as the forwarding number. You acknowledge the purpose, and then you go ahead and you're going to set that number. I'm going to pause while I set that number, but all I'm going to do is add the business number we're sending all these calls to, and then that's pretty much it. And it literally says in right here, please specify the business number being rung when your tracking number is dialed, because this is also to protect your number from showing and so forth and so on, but this is what you want to do. So I'm going to go ahead and add that number. Great. It found me 4 additional numbers. I'm going to go ahead and go to the next number features. Call source is going to be call from Google Ads. And again, this call will be activate the numbers. And what I'm going to do in here is there's going to be a couple steps. First and foremost, we're going to copy the script and I'm going to put it in the page on where people are going to call. So they'll have the opportunity of booking an appointment, or they're going to have the opportunity of actually calling me, right? So this, unlike the click to call number on the actual phone, is going to be separate. And we really only want it on the page. And we're really going to only consider it a conversion, but we're going to do it in a different way. So the first step, right? So just follow along. First step is we're going to go back and I'm going to duplicate this page right away. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this script on the funnel that's going to have the phone number. All right. Now in this particular funnel that I'm creating, it's basically going to be extremely simple. It's going to be a calendar and it's going to have the phone number at the top that people are able to see. All right. So I'm going to go to sites on the left-hand side. I am going to go to my service funnel because this is going to be a service that people are just going to basically book appointments on for my agency, right? I'm going to come over here. I'm going to go all the way to the agency. Oh, excuse me. Settings. I meant settings. Settings in here. And for instance, in the body tracking code, I'm going to drop that code right there. All right. I'm going to hit save. All right. So then that gives us the actual script to swap the numbers. And remember, we also captured the actual Google tag that we want to have for enhanced conversions. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here and we're going to go back to that lead magnet that we had. And remember, we had the whole entire thing here. I think we had it on the checklist. And I'm going to go ahead and go to settings. And if you remember correctly, we had the Google tag ID right here that we gathered last time. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that. I'm going to go back to the new service funnel that we're going to have. So I'm going to go back to home, go back to the service funnel, which is going to be right here. Inside of here, I'm going to click on the agency booking. I'm going to go back to our settings. And in here, I'm going to put the Google tag. Like that, it's going to be a little bit of enhanced, kind of like understanding that it's going to also have the click ID, plus it's going to have the script in order to switch the numbers. All right. So now that that's said and done, I'm going to go ahead and hit save. And then the next thing I want to do is if you go back and you go to the info number pool, it's going to talk about the number you're going to swap. So you're going to take the number here and I'm going to copy it. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to hit edit and literally just going to put the number right there. Now, some people can put it in buttons. You know, you got to get the button code. It is on the HighLevel site. So if you search like Google tracking, it goes over all this and you can do it, right? But for instance, all I'm going to do is have the number. I'm going to put it right there. And that's pretty much it. So I'm just going to leave it as it is. Again, this is a fake page. And all these numbers will, by the way, be erased. If you guys try to prank me, then, you know, they won't count. And then I'm just going to go ahead and publish. All right, now that this is set and published, I still have to create the conversion action, right? So I'm going to come over here, tools and settings like we did before, right? So let me just refresh this a little bit. I think it's a little up. There it is. Conversions. Inside conversions, remember, we created one for the purchase. We created one for the lead magnet. We created one for the call extension. Now we're going to create one for the click to calls on a funnel page. Because what's going to happen is the number is going to swap. And then what we're going to do is any incoming calls that come from that number click, we're going to know it's a conversion action. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to go to conversions. All right. So we're going to do new conversion action. It's going to, again, be import. It's going to be CRM and other data sources, but it actually is going to be track conversion from clicks because when somebody clicks that number, it's going to immediately auto dial. And that's what we're going to track. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to skip this and hit continue. All right, we're going to select the category. It'll be a converted lead, right? Because the calls are coming in. So now that we aimed it, we're going to go ahead and hit add. And just remember, like last time, we're going to go to settings. We're going to go to conversion action settings. We're going to come in here. It is a converted lead. Primary action for sure. Don't use a value, carry the one. And again, data driven or last click. For instance, for this one, I'm going to use last click and you can try different ones out to see if the conversions end up being better. Or if you notice anything odd with the conversion coming in, change it to last click to see if that works a little bit better. Hit create and continue. Awesome. And we're going to hit done. All right. Now we're going to come back into here. And now that we have the number swap and we published it, we have the code, everything's ready to go. Now the next step is going to be the automation. So we're going to come over here. We're going to go to automations. And again, as always, we're going to go to our G01 for our ad conversions and look what we've had so far. The lead magnet, the click to call ad extension, the Google Ads conversion for the course. And now we're going to create another one, create a workflow, start from scratch. All right. And it's going to be G04. This time it's going to be funnel click to call. Okay. And you can name which funnel it is. But again, for the sake of what we're doing, it's going to be easy. So we're going to be call status again. And this time you're going to hit filter. It's going to be same thing, a call direction incoming, because anybody's calling from any of those numbers, it matters, right? And then most importantly is you're going to do number pool and you're going to select Google Ads website page number, the one we labeled it or whatever you called it. Hit save, come in here. And by the way, you can tag, you can do all kinds of crazy stuff with it. But for now, we're going to keep it simple just for conversions. Type in Google as always, hit add to Google AdWords, come in here and we're going to search for the conversion as soon as this thing decides to pop. All right, let's look again. It is HighLevel checklist. It's a call. Oh, there it is. GHL funnel page click to call. All right. And we're going to hit save action, turn this on, and this ready is rock and roll, right? Now, what if they make an appointment? You can do the same thing. You can come over here, go over here, create a new conversion action. And again, it's import, CRM, track from clicks. Okay. Skip, hit continue. By now, you guys should be pros at this. This is definitely going to be a converted lead. Or you can even have it as a booked appointment offline, right? And then come here, it's GHL Google booked appointments. Now, honestly, what I've done is I've actually created different calendars. One just for Google that's basically has the same person and everything, just so I know that if anybody makes it to that calendar, it is 100% from a Google ad. An extra precaution I take just based off, obviously some of the things we see inside of HighLevel and other areas. Go to the conversion action detail. This is booked appointment. All right. GHL booked appointments, don't user value, carry everyone. And again, you can do last click or you can do data driven. For instance, we're just going to use last click again on this one. And again, you can try, I tried both. I really don't see the massive change, but you guys might have a different experience. And Google and Facebook, whenever we do these things, they're always constantly changing. Literally the screen will change by like one thing and it completely confuses and destroys everybody. So I'm going to come over here. I created this. Now I only have this complimentary call calendar, so I know it's going to be the only one that's running through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to back to workflows. This is going to be G05, create from scratch again. G05, and it's going to be appointment booked. Come in here, create a new trigger. We're going to come back over here, and this time appointment status, event type is normal, right? And it's going to be in calendar. Oh, let's actually do appointment status confirmed. All right, and then come in here, in calendar, complimentary, because that's the only one I have in here, and this is going to be only for Google Ads. I'll even probably go back and label it Google Ads complimentary strat just to make it easier. Give it a secret name that only I would know. However, you got to make it easy. I'm going to come in here, go all the way back in. We're going to go to Google Ads again, Google AdWords. Come in here, select GHL, Google booked appointments. Hit save, publish, save again. All right, and then you can keep going on. You want to create a conversion action for a chat widget, same exact thing. So let's just do that. That'll be our last one. Come in here, conversion action, new action. All right, we're going to say import again, CRM, track from clicks, skip, continue, select the category. We're just going to go to, just going to put it as converted lead because if they're starting a conversation in a chatbot, it's a win for me, right? So I'm going to come over here and it's going to be GHL, chatbot, conversion actions, qualified lead, just to kind of change things up a bit. One, qualified lead, fantastic. And then go to one and then don't use. And again, you guys, you can play around with this. I'm just showing different opportunities and capabilities of this. So you're going to go in here and you're going to hit add new trigger. When you add new trigger, you're going to come all the way to your right-hand side. You're going to do customer replied. And when you do a customer replied, you're going to hit add filters and you're going to do reply channel. Inside the reply channel, you're going to do chat widget. Now, the only thing with the chat widget is if you put it on any site, it's not really going to know what site it came from. So there's one little trick that you're going to have to do that make it a little bit different. We're going to give it a little bit of a wait. We're going to give it a little break, like maybe a couple seconds, and then we're going to hit save. And then from there, we're going to do an if else. Now, if the if else, we're going to check for attribution, which means that where did this source come from and does it have an attribution source to test for like UTM parameters of like Google, meaning when Google sends a lead through, it's going to have the attribution saying it's from a Google ad. And that's what we're going to be looking for. So, and the condition is where did it come from? All right. And if it says Google ads, what we want to we want to check for Google ads. What you're going to do is you're going to go all the way to contact details and we're looking for last attribution. So you can just type in last and we are looking for, you could do some of these, but in our opinion, source last attribute is probably the easiest one. And then you actually have to put in Google ads just like this. Oh, spelling it probably be very important actually. All right. And that's the way sometimes you'll come through. Now, this attribution source will sometimes change. So if you get a couple in and this thing is not firing, go back in and on some of your other ones that you know came from a Google ad, look at the source attribution in the contact area and it'll give you exactly what it's coming from if it looks like Google ads. All right. And then we're going to have an unbranch. If you had Facebook ads, you would separate it. But then once you have it that you know it's from Google ads, what you're going to do is you're going to come in here and then that's when you're going to send the signal up. So then you would do add to Google AdWords, come in here, select, and then do GHL chatbot to make sure that we give the proper attribution to the proper thing. And anything else, we really don't care for this particular trigger because it's a Google ads conversion. But if you had like Facebook ads, you wanted to do it, you would do the same thing. Last attribution, it would say Facebook. And if it says Facebook, then you go through. But what's important is that sometimes this last attribution is very case sensitive and it also changes. So just go back in and just validate that on any of the ones that you did before. Look at your contact, look at the last attribution and see if it says Google ads. You can also check it on the right-hand side. That gives you the 4 little things of where the ads are coming from. If you check on there, it's pretty easy for you to detect. All right, so that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed this one and we'll see you in the next one.